Hey guys, this is Barbara Hort with I Am This Woman. And as you can see, this is being streamed live on Facebook. We are on Zoom because, of course, with the quarantine, we want to keep everyone safe, but the show must go on. Now, you might see a little delay just because of Zoom, and I can imagine the millions of people that are on Zoom right now. But I'm super excited that you guys are here. I have my phone with me, so I will be able to see messages that you might be putting out there, and if you want to have any questions. But today, what I am going to speak about is who our special guest is. And right now, this is super exciting because our guest is Ezgi Smith. Now, Ezgi and I have known each other for a few years now. We went through trainings together, and she is here to talk about transformational training. She's training to be a coach, and what she wants to do is take this to the Middle East so that she can empower women there to have their voice. So, everyone, let's welcome Ezgi. Hey! I had to do that because this is such a normal thing for me to do. It's usually a person's off to the side, they come in, they sit in this comfy blue chair. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see each other. And if I was to see you, I would give you this huge, huge hug.
Weird.
And
That
so
was
I
awesome.
know, I'm kind of super sad about that, but I'm also super excited to have you here and to have you as part of the show.
Right.
And yeah, just excited that you're here. Just super excited that you're here. So let's talk. Let's
Yeah.
talk about. Well, first of all, let me tell everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Barbara Ford. I am the host and the founder of I Am This Woman, which is a show on Facebook, which right now is on my personal page. We are building as we speak. And what I do is I invite women on here and sometimes men to share their stories, to inspire others, and really just to create connection. And I think right now, with everything going on, connection is a huge part of what we're needing to do. So let's talk. Tell me,
For
like,
having
first of
me.
all, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm so excited. And yeah, talk to me. Tell me what you're up to, what you're thinking, what you're doing, and share about everything that you're up to.
Where do I start? There's been a lot happening lately. Um, so the one thing I've been wanting to accomplish in the last few years has been like a thump inside of me growing louder and louder.
Yeah.
You know what that feels like? And
Yes.
yes, you do because you're making it happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
Yep. So that's been to take the workshops and the transformational trainings that I've experienced here in Florida, in the United States, to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Um, I know that you're aware of the transformational training we did together. We went through a few of them together,
Yes, we have. We've been
and
through.
they were all like beautiful slaps in the face.
That's a perfect way to say that because that's exactly what it felt like. Is like a good like, and the thing about it is, I think we grow with each level of trainings that we go to, and
Mhm,
they are like a big pow in the face,
mhm,
right? So right now, I know our last training we went through, which was the Achievers Academy, was on a totally different level.
mhm.
It had us see ourselves in so many ways. And I just sent The Greatest Showman was on TV, and I got to see it twice because it was back to back.
Mhm.
And I basically sent an email or a text message to Charlie saying, I will never hear this song in any other way than realizing who I am. And that is such, and this song "This Is Me" is so the epitome, like, of what this show is all about. And who knew 2 years ago what was brewing in my head? And I know you guys all saw it,
Mhm.
but it was really beautiful. So I think that's the thing where I got to see you, and I love being in that space with you, and I love that you're figuring out now what you're up to or what you're creating. So taking transformational training to the Middle East,
Mhm.
I feel like you. Oh wow, that's huge.
Gulp.
If you were sitting next to me, I'd go, child, 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 but I'll do it here. Child, like, what made you decide? Like, this is a huge step into doing this, is taking that training in there. You know what I mean? So what is it for you that you decided that, hey, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it was the
Sorry.
transformation. You're good. The transformation in my life that I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I had a certain frame of mind before I discovered transformational trainings. And I thought everybody had the same frame of mind and that everybody had, like that we all lived in our box and that's all there was.
Yeah.
What happened is I experienced the explosion of my box, and suddenly it felt like I could see way beyond what I thought I knew before.
Oh, I like that. So, what was in your box? And when you took that, it's almost like that peekaboo over the box. What did you see? What was it for you?
Well, 6 months later, I was Miss Florida.
I love that you're like, wait a minute, let me think.
Like that wasn't in my box before. Before there was no, I'm going to be a fitness queen, fitness inspiration. I'm going to compete and dare I say I will win anything. Like that was none of that was in my box.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that because that's a big step. The commitment. How often do you work out a day?
Once. Well, before the competition, it was 2 small workouts a day.
With that body? You're like, it's only two little workouts, and then this is what I get.
Little.
Just little workouts. I've seen your workouts. Okay, you're so cute. You're like, it's just press your hand here, and look, you're gonna look like me. Really?
I post the most intense ones online. I don't post the ones where I'm like, I don't want to be here today.
No, you're like jumping in the pool and everything with the unicorn. Um, well, and I love that you said you did that. And that was such a big step to do this. So then, what else did you find in your box?
Love. I had been dating Stefan, I think for 6 years at that time. And I remember I would tell him, if you propose to me before I turn 30, I'm going to say no. And I was dead serious. I was like 24 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had already been together since I was 19. Like this man has been waiting a long time.
And he wanted it.
And not when I was 24, but like before I turned 30, because that was 6 years later.
Yeah.
But
And so for you, finding that, like, I know some of your journey and some of your story, but I think to me, getting married, it's one thing that I think is missing sometimes is you have to know you. And I think a lot of times there's a lot of jumping into marriage and people don't know themselves and they think this other person's going to complete them and life is going to be grand. And it's like, you have to know you, you know? So I guess I'm going to stop talking because I'm listening to you. So every time I hear something, I'm like, ooh, so go ahead, keep on talking because I'm going to stop for a minute.
No, I love what you just said, because once my purpose through the trainings was to find out who I was. Like that was my purpose. I was like, I have lost touch with who I ever thought I was. I have no idea what I want to do, who I am. So as that became clear to me, so did my self-love, so did my self-worth, so did my self-trust, so did my ability to show and share my love and to commit to the things that I am worthy of committing to.
Nice.
So,
Aww.
yeah.
And that's such a beautiful thing because who you show up as and the woman that you are, of course, you're wanting to take this message to the Middle East. And like help us to understand with women's voices there, because I always say that, where is your voice? And even if a woman has a voice, it's a whisper. There's something there, right? There's something there to share. So why is it so important for you to take this training to the Middle East? What is it there for you?
Well, I recently have been building the courage to look at what's really happening with women in the Middle East. I've been finding out about um, what are called shame killings, where women are murdered uh,
Mm,
because of what they said, what they wore, a picture they took, a picture they posted, like stuff that we do daily in the United States.
wow.
Oh, because they took off their headscarf, you saw their shoulder, like, and we're talking about murder, and 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 it's called because of shame. Like, she shamed our family, and we murdered her, and the government says, "Oh, okay,
And
that
this
makes."
is what, like you said, she shamed our family.
Yeah, a lot of the murders are happening through within the family, like the brother or the father or the husband. Those are the ones killing either their sister, their daughter, or their wives
Wow.
because
Wow.
they feel ashamed.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I get people like here, brothers might be overprotective or something like that, or fathers might say, no, you don't do this. But the fact of it is that because you are trying to find your own space, your voice, and in this day and age, young women, beautiful, just wanting to share and express themselves, and then really they're putting their lives in danger by doing it.
Yeah, and I didn't get that when I started fitness competitions and I started sharing, my success was through my body. So when I started sharing bikini pictures online, I got a lot of kickback from my family in Turkey, a lot, like
Wow.
daily messages, phone calls, take off the posts, don't share this. What are you doing? Um, we're not proud of you winning first place. Like, I did get um, a lot of kickback from what I was up to. And I didn't understand at the time that they were trying to protect me, because they're in the middle of all of it. They see the woman being murdered for posting on Instagram, for posting a gentle video of her and her fiance on Instagram. So then I felt like the compassion and the love of my family for wanting to protect me at the level that they wanted to. And
Right.
the thing is, if I say, okay, they just want to protect me, and I accept the status quo, then we're not moving into the future. Then I'm telling my future daughter, I'm trying to protect you, so stay small.
Yeah. One of my, I have an accountability partner, and she is creating a program that's called, it's For My Legacy, and it's all about the legacy that you're leaving. And I love what you're saying, because your future daughter is the one that a lot of times we don't do these things for ourselves. We end up doing these things for others. We do these things to go ahead and to celebrate and to really encourage others. So what you're creating might save a woman, it might change a mindset. And well, also, I could see your daughter or your son being extremely proud of the woman that you are and what you're creating, because staying safe, I think, is what a lot of Americans, what a lot of people do. They like, I don't want to rock the boat, so I'm going to stay safe. But I think the only way that we can start to make change is by rocking the boat,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it's scary.
So I commend you for that. I commend you for saying, no, this is not okay. And women get to have that voice. So how do you see it looking doing that?
How do I see what? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, no, that's okay. I know something happened. How do you see, if you were to take transformational training to the Middle East? And I know there are some other people who are trying to do this, but for you specifically, for women's empowerment and for women to have that voice and feel okay to do this and to make a stand, how do you see that looking?
I'm so glad you asked this,
Oh, thank you.
because what inspires me the most, my family's in Turkey, so I go back often and I get to interact with my mom and have long discussions with my aunt and all of their friends. And every time I go, they say, Ezgi, can you bring some of your workshops to Turkey? We want to hear more of what you have to say. We want to, my mom specifically, she says, I feel so calm when you talk to me.
Aw.
And I have, like, I'm so grateful for the knowledge that I have gained over the years, that I
Mhm.
can talk into it and create a sense of calm and peace in others, especially my mom.
Wow. Let's think about this. This is powerful. This is your mom saying, like, bring this here, create this. Like, I'm ready whenever you are. You tell me, and I'm on a plane with you, and we can do transformational trainings, in Turkey. I'm ready to go because I think having that, being able to have that space and have that voice is so important to them. And what difference do you think it would make for young women, especially? Because I know there's a history of, it's almost like this. As a woman of color, we have been raised to, don't get too friendly, just do your job, don't show too much, don't do too much. And as you know me, I'm like, hey, here I am. So, but it's a history of that. And what do you think would make the difference for women like your mom or for younger generations?
It can change the future of the world. Like the Middle East is where we have the most violence right now, where we have the most political um, chaos, where we have, there women are being killed, and that's considered okay in some parts of the Middle East. So I don't know how to turn that off. I'm so sorry. It's driving me
hopefully, it's,
crazy.
hopefully it's someone saying yes, yes, go
Yeah.
for
Okay.
it. So
Well,
you know what? If every time that bell rings is another woman believing in her value, then you let that bell ring and you let it ring loudly.
okay, perfect. Now I feel so much better about that. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Um, so so the Middle East has been, on the radar for where there's the most chaos, some of the most deepest chaos, and
Right.
like deepest rooted chaos in the world. I think that taking transformational trainings to the Middle East and sharing this type of work with the women of the Middle East will not only heal women, because they need, Lord knows they need, we need healing, but it will also heal the men.
Mm, I love that. It will heal the men. Okay, let's stop and think about this because I think the one thing, if we're looking at everything that's going on right now, we're taking a pause. And in this pause is a time to create and a time to do. What you're doing is, I love that because taking that there, you're saying, pause what is happening in your mindset and what's been happening for generation after generation after generation, and step into this new belief, honoring the women in your life, honoring who they are, what they have to say, and what they can do. And that's what I love that you're doing. Now, what about opposition? Because I can't imagine that you're going to bring a training to the Middle East and you're going to get women who are going to be like, yes, women power and all that. How is that going to be received? And how are you going to handle the opposition also? Because you might be received by some and opposed by others. How are you going to deal with that? Okay, I
I
love
don't know.
that.
I have no idea. All I know is I will deal with it if and when it comes.
Yeah.
And we will keep moving forward. If I can inspire one woman, young, old, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If I can inspire one woman, that makes all the difference for me. Just inspire one.
Yeah.
And I know that there is such a yearning for healing in the Middle East that it will be unstoppable. Like the healing will be unstoppable. And it may be underground. It may be loud and vocal. I don't know how it looks. I have no idea what tomorrow looks like.
Right.
especially under today's
With
conditions.
everything going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do know that my commitment is to create healing in the world. And the Middle East has been crying out to me for too long for me to keep ignoring.
I love how you said that. Like, and I think that this is for all women, that there is something that, whether it is child abuse, or whether it is one of my good friends, Yali, she does prison reformation, because here's the thing, there's things going on where they are setting up kids since the third grade doing testing to almost put them on a fast track to going to prison. So whatever it is that is your calling, whatever it is that is your message, this is your time now. If all the stuff that's going on has shown us anything, you can stop and you can wait, or you can get up and you can move and you can make a difference. And the thing that you're saying, when you're saying that there is this calling in this journey, and I always say it's your essence, it's what's always been there. And I know who you are. You're a proud woman. You have a voice. And the fact that you have no idea how you're going to do it is, to me, even better so, because that is saying, I don't know, but I know that I can't let it go on. And I chalk it up to, Gandhi must have knew that when he made that choice, or Martin Luther King or Mother Teresa, they said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know something must be done. I want to acknowledge you just for that alone. Is just, you took the step. And sometimes all we need is the first step, and we just need someone, one person that says, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. So I love the idea of this, and this is, so more exciting when I think about you being up there and sharing. If you were going to share this one message with a woman in the Middle East to say, please come to this workshop here, listen, what would be the one message? And I know there's a lot, but the one thing that you would really want them to know.
You are not alone.
I'm gonna cry. I love that statement.
Yes. And it goes into, specifically in Turkey, there's such a divide, um, not just between the sexes, but among the women because of social conditioning. Like when I grew up, we have, in Turkey in particular, we have the modern Turkish people, the ones who don't cover up, who are like, who look forward to be Western, and are inspired by European culture. And then we have the other kind, who is inspired by tradition,
Mm,
inspired by like religion, but they're raised into it. And as I was growing up, I always felt like it was ingrained into us almost that the two sides are different and they're not to be together. Like
yeah,
like the women who are modern are different than the women who are conservative, and don't waste time with each other. There's nothing for you there. And it's
right,
so painful to think about, because then we're promoting division among women.
yeah. And aren't we across the world promoting division among women? Like my thing is, there are divisions among women, and I see it when, like, you're doing this, right? And so I want you on the show because I want other women and other men to know what you're up to. I want them to hear what you're doing, and I want them to support you. But I know a lot of times when people are doing things, they're like, well, no, this is mine. And when I think about the billions of people that are out here in the world, I want people to know, like, share, like, what you're doing is incredible, because I know that you might be doing it for someone in the Middle East, but someone here might hear your story, and someone here who's watching today might be inspired. And that's what's most important, is that what you're doing is saying, value yourself, you have a voice, trust in that voice, right? So what, I, with all the stuff going on with coronavirus, and everybody's kind of like, there's so much fear going on, and there's so much of a division. And I said this to someone the other day, that we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're not independents, we're not Middle Easterns or Americans, we are all in the same bucket right now, right? We are all in the same bucket. And I think that that is something that if we could get and take away from, that within this bucket right now, we have an opportunity to lift each other up and to like raise this vibration and really to make a difference and to take care of your family and your neighbors and all that. And I guess where what is it that you like? I know something that you've done because I've seen it on your Facebook and you posted last night. I want to go to this other side of you, the businesswoman, also. And I want to kind of share about this because I want to acknowledge you for what you've done. So please, I want you to kind of tell the audience about what you've done.
Well, the businesswoman side of me has been, she's the next to come out of the closet.
Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna do a class on the closet, like who's all coming out,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of us out there.
So I've been doing wholesale. Everybody thinks everybody thinks I'm a fitness trainer. I'm not a trainer. I just like to work out.
Okay.
But what I do for the last 7 years, I have a company and we do wholesale international trade. I buy bulk from Turkey, hardware, chemical supplies, and I import them and I distribute them throughout the United States. And it funds all of my travel to Turkey back and forth. That's the whole reason why I started this. I was like, I want to see my mom when I want to see my mom. So the business was born.
I love that because this is so important though. What is your why? And then you figure out how this will happen. And so you now have this business. But you just did something pretty amazing over the last week. What was it?
Yes. So with the coronavirus and the global shortage in medical supplies, for the last few weeks, I've been searching for connections to masks, connections to gloves, all the medical supplies that are on shortage right now. And it took me a while and many sleepless nights. And we were able to connect with factories and suppliers of these supplies, of medical supplies. And we've been able to bring them over and distribute them to hospitals, clinics. And we're trying to get in with state governments so we can get them supplied because supplies are there. They just need the people they just need the connection.
Right. And we hear that, and my son's girlfriend, she's in the medical field, so she's still working. And so it's every day she's going in, and it is, I send her messages and I'm like, make sure you have gloves, you have this, what do you need, and all that, because I am concerned. Now my son works from home, but no matter what, they live together. This is how it is. And so I love the fact that you're not just sitting back, you're doing something about this. And so how can the people out on Facebook, because I know you've gotten some contacts, but you never know who might be watching and who might be able to support in that. So how can they support if they know someone in the hospital, whatever it is that you need?
Anyone who needs medical supplies, and we normally specialize in wholesale. So our minimum quantity used to be 50,000 masks. And this was 3 days ago, which feels like 3 months ago because of the speed of this. Now our minimum order quantity is 1,000 masks.
Wow.
Anyone who needs 1,000 masks or any more, we can order millions of masks. We have access to all of these supplies. So anyone who's experiencing shortage or knows someone who's experiencing shortage at a facility, they can email me. They can call me on my cell phone, 954-683-9992. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Give me a voicemail, send me a text, and we will get you covered.
That's awesome. That's so fantastic.
For anyone who needs less, I just want to say, if you need less than 1,000 masks or whatever it is, we have a local supplier who's able to provide less. So call me anyway.
I love that. Call her anyway, because I think that's important. Now, I know this is kind of like pause. What are you doing in this downtime are you creating? What are you working on besides, supplying this country with what they need? But when it comes to, do you have a name for your organization with trying to bring this transformational training into the Middle East? Have you figured out kind of what you're doing, what you want to do with that?
I never thought about a name. But
I'll
um,
work.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. I never thought about it. I,
Yeah.
I, I just always see the vision of women coming together, growing together, and healing themselves and healing their men. And it's usually around a fire.
Okay, so that's good. So women, men, healing, togetherness, fire, generations changing. That's a change of a generation, and I think that's so incredible, and I love the whole thing of this. So, are you creating time in this downtime to work on this, to start to build this, to start to kind of create this?
Um, Interestingly, I haven't had any downtime since the virus began, and since I found reliable suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has been a nonstop, all day, sleeping several hours a night type of thing for me. The last few, especially the last few days since I shared my post, uh,
Yeah, I can
but
imagine.
also leading up to that too. Yes, I'm so humbled by the support that came from the post. So many hospitals have reached out to us, so I've been constantly working to get them supplied. So the fact that we're having this interview right now is so grounding for me, and
Yay.
it's like reminding me that um, I am human and I have goals.
It is, and I think what's really important is even if you take an hour, like I was up till 3:30 this morning, right? Because trying to figure out how to do this whole Zoom and do everything. But more importantly, I was working on I Am This Woman. I am building the website. I am working on workshops. I am working on different things to create because in this time, I'm like, this is what I get to do. And I think that this is so important that yes, you are a businesswoman, but you're also this woman, and you're this woman that's creating something that is so needed, because what's going to happen is the world is still going on. Tomorrow will still happen. The next day, April will still come. March, is getting ready to go away. And I think that that is so important, is that we don't stop during this time, that we start to think about what is it that I can do? What is a dream that I've had and how do I build it? So I'm just going to challenge you to at least an hour a day to go out on your, nice, beautiful patio overlooking the water and spend some time, get a journal and write and start to create, because these women in the Middle East are waiting for you. They're waiting for you. And you know this because tell me the difference maybe with your parents allowing you this freedom, because sooner, like you said, it was ingrained in you. So what made you go down the different road to be able to say, I'm going to have my voice, I'm going to have this freedom? What was it for you?
The feeling of being trapped. I I realized I was feeling trapped in my own social conditioning and in my own mind.
Yeah.
I think that's what attracted me to transformational trainings. And,
Yeah.
uh, it's soul crushing, and I think I see people. I know I know how I used to be. So when I see my mirror walking in the street, I know.
You're like, oh, there she is.
I'm like, oh, I used to be
I
like,
know her. I know her. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So like there is another side. It's so hard to see. It's so hard to see when you are in that soul crushed state. It's really hard to see. But having gone through it and having experienced it and having discovered that life is what we make of it, and we all have dreams and we all have purpose, and once we connect with them, they blossom. Life blossoms. It's not always fun, but it's always growing and progressing. Like to come out on the other side, I just want to go, you, let's come together and let's grow together.
Right. Yeah. I think of it this way. Like, I always say this is that when you think about the babies that are born, right? And you think about the fact that that there's a choice. And today, this baby is saying, yes, I'm going to be born out of the millions, right? Like, you were put on this earth for this, with this purpose, with this plan. And I think taking transformational training to the Middle East, letting women know that they do have a voice, and not only letting women know that they have a voice, but changing that mentality, the mentality of, you know what, it's okay to post a video. It's okay to be in a bathing suit. It's okay to have your voice and be heard, because you're going up a big hill, but that, I couldn't imagine anyone else who could do it, you know? And so I think that you, first of all, they can relate, you can relate. And then to be able to say, like, I'm here for you. And like you said, you come here and you come here and you come here. And that your mom wants to be involved in this. I love that. The changes that you're making within that. So I would love to challenge you that don't wait until you're done with this. Don't wait until you are at a point where you are certified and all this, or everything is done. Start figuring out what you can do, sending them messages. And I'm going to challenge you because that's who we are and that's what we do for each other. And you said something before we even went live. If you said, I remember you talking about this 2 years ago, and you said, I'm so glad, Barbara, that you're doing this now.
Yes,
So
huge inspiration. Thank you. I just want to share now that we're live, how I experienced you 2 years ago. Talk about interviewing women and sharing what women have to say, and sharing it with the world. And you talked about it so passionately. And to see you today making it happen. You asked me, I think it was 2 years ago, when you said, when I launch my project, will you be a guest on my show? And I was like, yes. But that was 2 years ago. A lot has happened since then. So to be here today on your show as a guest is an incredible inspiration and an honor. Like, you are, through everything that you're up to, you're inspiring me to be what I want to be up to. And, yeah, and you know, it's a ripple effect. Like,
it is a ripple effect.
Many people watch these videos.
Yeah.
They watch your interviews, they watch your show. So imagine how many lives you're touching.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And the reason why I Am This Woman is created is because, like, I know you have something here. I know that it's going to make all the difference in the world. You know, people are posting saying, please don't wait. They totally agree. Like, believe in what you're up to. Do what you're saying. You know, it's just kind of cool doing it this way because I can see all the comments. But people are sending love and they're wanting you to do this. And I would tell you, if there's nothing else, it's so important. So there's a couple of questions that I always ask every guest that's on the show, and I always love to know this. So what can you do to make the world a better place?
Speak up.
Yes, speak up. And if you were to speak up, what would you say?
I would say that deep down, we're all love, that we're all connected, that we're all here with purpose, and that when we love ourselves and we love each other, we will have world peace.
It's always love. It always comes back to love.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, what is the one thing you do to live your life with purpose?
Meditating every day. It's been a struggle. And as my life gets more and more upbeat and more challenging, I realize that it's like this sacred space that I can go into anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
And just in case I forgot, remember who I am.
I love that. I have a book I'm going to share with you, and because I'm not a big meditator, but he shows a way to be able to kind of help to like when I meditate, I'm like, what's going on here? What's happening? Wait a minute, I got a scratch here. And so it's so funny. So when he said, if you have a scratch, itch it. And I'm like, oh, I can itch my scratch. I'm so I'm so happy. But I think it's something that I'm gonna send you the link for, because I think it is super extraordinary, and I think it really supported me on that and not taking things so seriously.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that when women are empowered, they impact the world, they impact their families, their communities, also, and themselves. So if you were to have a motto for your life, what would it be?
Jeez, you didn't tell me you were going to put me under such pressure. Motto for my life.
Everyone says that. Everyone says, what is with you with these questions? But I want people to be inspired by them. So what would be your motto? What would be your message?
I'm looking around my desk because I have my quotes hung up that inspire me. There's two of them. Patience isn't waiting, it's the knowledge that to become exceptional takes time.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's interesting. So it's not waiting, right?
Well, this doesn't apply to anything we've been talking about. Maybe I'll put that one down. But my motto.
Yeah.
Well, my vision is to inspire and empower women and to show men that they're not alone.
Okay. I think that's a beautiful one to say. So, a couple months ago with Kobe Bryant's death, something really hit me. And that when they were doing the interviews, they were talking to people. And I think LeBron James has said, I have never seen him as happy but in his last 3 years when he retired and he started to encourage women within basketball with his daughter and the other women who are playing. And I said, what is your three? Whether it's 3 years left, 3 days, 3 months, 33 years, 63 years, what is your three? And if you were to leave a legacy, what would it be?
I want to say 3 months. Oh wait, he died in 3 years. So are we talking
Well,
about?
what happened is, yeah, so his last 3 years were pretty impactful, but the main thing here is that this is what he told his best friend. He says, one day will come when you will stop playing basketball, and basketball is your first love. He says, so you'll have to learn what will be your next love. And his next love was creating the Mamba Gym, the mentality. It's an incredible story to hear, and what he instilled in his daughter and these other young girls, and also what he instilled in the basketball community, because we know the difference between men's pay in the basketball community and women's pay in the basketball community is huge.
Yeah.
So he created that. And so it seems like to me within those last few years, he made an effort more than probably some people will make in their lifetime. So if you were to say, what is that legacy that you would want to leave? What would be that legacy?
I want to leave. I want to leave a tribe, a community of powerful leaders, men and women who stand for the healing of this world.
I love that. Yeah. For the healing of this world. And I love it too, because it's the community, but it's the healing of the world.
Yeah.
And so it's not just looking here, but it's kind of saying, let's look at all of it.
A tribe of superheroes.
Superhero. I love that. I would say superhero. Like, yeah. Okay. And one of my last questions is, what would be the lesson that you would leave, that you would want your former self and your future self to know?
Former self, it's not that serious. Former self, nothing I ever thought was so serious and crushing, and it's not that serious. And everything happens at the perfect time that it's meant to happen for my growth.
Right. Yeah, for
Former
sure.
self. Future self, so funny you ask that, because this morning I had a thought about my future self, like what would she say to me? And future self, her and I talk. Um,
I love that.
we keep in touch, and
We're really connected.
yeah, I usually don't tell her much. She usually tells me. Um, but if I were to tell her something from my current self, I
Yeah,
would say that she's extremely inspirational, and accessing her daily inspires me to become the woman that I want to be.
yeah, yeah. I love that. You know how many women say to their former selves, it's not that serious? I think this is show number 11, and I would have to say probably nine
Oh
of
my,
them say the same exact thing. It is not that serious. Like, this too shall pass. It's one of my favorite statements. This too shall pass. Well, we have come to the end, and I wanted to know if there's anything that you would like to leave our people who are viewing and people who are just, what would you leave them? What is your last few words that you would leave besides the little tagline that we do? But what is you like? This is what I want to share with you guys.
I just want to say that I experience love through everyone, through every little connection, especially now with social distancing, every little comment, it doesn't even have to be anything. The love that I feel in my heart for my friends, my family, our community, or strangers is incredible. And the fact that what we're experiencing in the world right now, where there are no borders, there is no economically advantage, disadvantage, where, there's no male, female, young, old. What we're experiencing right now is, to me, it's evidence that we're one and we've always been one.
Yeah. I love that. I just want to thank you for being a guest. I want to thank you for saying yes to me. You've always have. If like you said 2 years ago, it was a big yes, and I love the fact Yali just said incredible love, no borders, because that's exactly what this is. And if we start to love, I really think it can support what's going on here. So thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being this light. And I know what you're going to do for the Middle East. I cannot wait to see. And I am this woman is 100% behind what you're doing. And of course, as your friend, I am 100% behind what you're doing. So if you could go ahead and because we talked about what you do, I always ask people to say their name and I am this woman. So if you could say that.
I am Ezgi Smith, and I am this woman.
And guys, I am Barbara Port, and I am asking you, love one another, honor yourself, honor your voice, trust in that, and know this too shall pass. If you need support, please reach out, Barbara at iamthiswoman.com. You can send me an email. You can put a message here. I'll make sure to reach back out to you. And I would say this most importantly, um, love is the answer. And whatever's going to happen, there's been so much going on. And let's love each other. Let's take care of each other and love ourselves. Please, please, please love ourselves. So if you're interested in being a guest on I Am This Woman, you can email me at barbara at iamthiswoman.com. Also, we are looking for bloggers. So if you blog, if you have a story to share, our website is going to be coming up in probably about 10 days. And so we're going to be having guest bloggers throughout the website because there's one thing for me to share things, but there is a community of people out there. And if you have a message for women or people who love women, so that's like everybody, then please go ahead and make sure that you send in that. And then next week, I'm going to be making a special announcement because I'm looking for some amazing women to support me in a project that I am working on. So I'm going to be putting that out there next week. But stay tuned because there's so much more to come from this and so many more incredible guests. Ezgi, like I told you, this year, once this is all over, you get to sit in the chair next to me because I can't wait to hear in 3 months. Like you said something about 3 months. I can't wait to have you sitting next to me in 3 months and telling me this is what I've created, this is what I'm doing. So I am going to go ahead and say thank you so much. I am Barbara Hort, founder of I Am This Woman, and I can promise you this for sure. I am this woman. Thank you guys. Take care now. Bye.